So welcome back. Today's video we've got a highly anticipated product, at least by me. It's the MiniMate by Orico. It's an external SSD solution that was supposed to be, in my eyes, the perfect solution for my M4 Mac Mini Pro storage needs. It hides comfortably and conveniently underneath the M4 Mac Mini, looking like an all-in-one piece and offering you tons of storage at a great speed. Now, I got this yesterday. I've been putting it through its paces, testing it out, and it was so close to being a good product, and I'll explain what I mean later on in the video. But before we get to that, if it's your first time here, I'm MrHtech, aka MrHtech, and on this channel we make tech simple. If I do earn your subscription, whether it be middle, the beginning, end of the video, remember to hit that subscribe button below. It does greatly help the channel out. Like the video if you do end up liking it, share it with your friends and family if they will also be interested in this type of content or anything I've made previously. And one thing I will ask you to do, if I don't answer your question in this video about the Orico MiniMate and you do have other questions, let me know in the comments box below of what questions you have, as if I have enough questions then I'll make a part 2 video just going through all the different questions and answering everything I can, just to avoid this video being 25 minutes long and me guessing what you're going to ask me. So without further ado, let's check out the MiniMate and why it just didn't make the mark, for me at least. So when you actually unbox the Orico MiniMate, you don't get much with it. You get one short cable that has 40 written on it, which I would assume is for the 40 gigabit speeds. And that's mainly going to be used if you're going to put the Orico MiniMate on top or underneath the M4 Mac Mini, which is what it's meant to do. It's meant to reduce clutter. It's meant to go on top or underneath your M4 Mac Mini to look like one device. Hence why they've made it look so similar to the M4 Mac Mini. It's the same dimensions in terms of size. Thickness is obviously smaller, but when it goes and sits on top, it does look like one unit. Now, even on the bottom, they made it look very similar with the plastic bottom with the vents and everything like that. So it's almost like a little brother to the M4 Mac Mini. That's its purpose. And I'm going to tell you why the issues are not supportive of that a bit later on in the video. So when it comes to speeds, before we get to the speeds, it does come formatted in exFAT. I formatted mine to APFS because if I want to run Apple apps from the Orico, then I'll have that ready to do so. You can do what you want. If you use Windows machines as well, you might want to leave it as exFAT, but because I mainly just use Mac machines, I formatted it to APFS and I've got no issues with that. Now for the speed test results, I did test the speed plugging this into the M4 Mac Mini into the back. Bear in mind, this is Thunderbolt 4, it's not Thunderbolt 5. They don't have a Thunderbolt 5 version. So whether you plug it into an M4 Mac Mini or an M4 Pro Mac Mini, even though the M4 Mac Mini has Thunderbolt 4 ports on the back and the M4 Pro has Thunderbolt 5, you should be getting the same speeds because this is only capable of Thunderbolt 4 speeds. Now when I loaded up Blackmagic speed test, I was getting 3100 megabytes on the write and 3400 megabytes on the read for the speeds, which, to be honest, it is quite fast. I know on the box it says 38, but obviously these things fluctuate depending on what you're connecting it to. I couldn't get anywhere close to 38.
Don't get me wrong, the Orico MiniMate is very fast at transferring data. As a real world example, I'm going to show you transferring this 22.2 gigabyte folder over from the M4 Pro Mac Mini onto the Orico took just around 7 seconds, and then transferring it back from the Orico to the Mac Mini, the same around 6-7 seconds. So 22 gigabytes in that amount of time is super fast. So it should be fast enough for anything you really want to do if you want to use it.
Now in comparison to the M4 Pro Mac Mini's 512 gigabyte SSD that I've got in mine, when I did the Blackmagic speed test on that, I was getting 4100 megabits on the write and 5200 on the read. So substantially faster speeds on the built-in SSD for the M4 Mac Mini as opposed to the Orico. Here's the problem. We know that when it comes to upgrading the actual M4 Mac Mini storage, things get a bit pricey. Now, for example, the Orico 2TB MiniMate is priced at around $210. And if you want to upgrade, say, for example, the M4 Pro Mac Mini to 2 terabytes, it's going to cost you $600 extra for a total 2 terabytes. So technically, you're only paying for 1.5 terabytes because the base model of the M4 Pro has already 512 gigabytes built in. Same way with the M4 base model, you get that 256 gigabytes of built-in internal storage. And if you want to upgrade that to 2 terabytes, it will cost you $800 more. And that's not 2 terabytes extra. Like this would be, what would it be, 1.75 terabytes, and then the 256 gigabytes that's already built in. So you're paying around $800 for a 1.75 terabytes if you upgrade through Apple. Now, of course, you do have benefits of, if you want it on the machine, you don't have to plug anything else in, you know it's on there. But there is also big benefits to having that external storage. If your machine goes for warranty, you still have all your storage on the external storage unit. If you want to plug in the external storage unit to another device, you can do that. Or if you end up selling your machine, you can still keep the storage unit and all your files on the storage unit without having to start removing stuff. Unlike you would have to do that if all your stuff was actually on the internal drive. So there is benefits either way. With the Orico MiniMate, it's made to go either on top or on the bottom of your Mac Mini. Now, something I would recommend is not putting it on the bottom, because obviously this will generate heat, and the last thing you want is this generating heat, getting hot, and then the M4 Mac Mini being on top and receiving that heat, which will then in return make the M4 Mac Mini hot as well. That's why Orico recommend you putting this on the top of your M4 Mac Mini. Here lies the problem. Orico on the top have put this nice little Orico branding. So now when you put this on top of your M4 Mac Mini, you no longer see the Apple logo, you're just going to see Orico, which a lot of people don't want to see. That can be fixed with an Apple sticker. So that was the small issue. So here lies the big issue. And the big issue is that the fans on this Orico MiniMate are constantly on as soon as you plug it into the actual M4 Mac Mini. Now that may not be a problem for some of you out there, but for me, ever since I've been using the M-Spec devices, I'm used to a super silent work environment. And when this is plugged in, it's not super loud, but it's definitely loud enough to be an inconvenience. And with it being something that has to go on top of or underneath the M4 Mac Mini, otherwise it beats the purpose of me having it. I could just plug in a different external drive and route it elsewhere. It kind of beats the purpose of having this on there. I don't understand why they didn't look into this more and either put a silent fan in there, put a better heatsink in there, or put a switch in there so you can turn the fan off. Hence why I said before, this long cable is going to be probably beneficial, because you're probably going to need it to plug this in and place this somewhere else, not near the M4 Mac Mini. Now, placing it somewhere else, like I said, it beats the purpose. What's the point of having something that looks like the M4 Mac Mini that's supposed to go on the M4 Mac Mini as a bundled device, and then you've made it super loud, so it's an inconvenience for people to actually use it with the M4 Mac Mini. And then I have to go and hide it with another cable. I might as well just have another external storage solution, whether it be ThunderBolt 5.1, which I have done videos about, and just use that if I'm going to put it out of mind, out of sight. So yeah, that was a big issue for me. I don't know if I'll actually even keep using it, and if I do, well, like I said, I'd have to put it out of sight, and I've already got different storage solutions that I can put out of sight. This was more of a convenience factor for a lot of people, where you can place it right on top next to your M4 Mac Mini and reduce clutter, which is what they advertise as well. So instead of just telling you that the fan noise is a little bit annoying, what I'm actually going to do is I've got a decibel meter on the iPhone there, and I'm going to show you 3 different scenarios. One with the Orico unplugged, so just to show you the sound levels of my natural working environment, because I do like it to be silent, and it is actually very silent, you'll see there. And then I'm going to show you one with the Orico plugged in, what sound levels you get. And then I'm actually going to show you, just so you have a comparison, of the Orico unplugged, but I'm going to try and get the fans on the M4 Mac Mini to ramp up, so you can see what the comparison is between the fans on the Orico and then the fans on the M4 Mac Mini when they ramp up, which is super rare anyway. So let's check that out. So as you can see, the sound in my studio is around 25 decibels when there's nothing plugged in terms of the Orico, or the fans on the M4 Mac Mini are not turned on. So now let's plug the Orico in and see what happens when that's plugged in. So as you can see, with the Orico plugged in and the fans on, it does hover around 41, 42 decibels, which is almost double than what it's like without having any of the fans on. So now let's try, I'm going to try and ramp up the fans on the M4 Mac Mini just to see a comparison between the two. So let's unplug the Orico. So as you can see, hovering around 38.5 for the fans on the M4 Mac Mini. So that just goes to show you the Orico is even louder constantly than the M4 Mac Mini is when it has to ramp the fans up, and that is quite rare. So there we have it. That was the Orico MiniMate SSD, and it had such great potential to be a really good product for the M4 Mac Mini, especially for me, but had such poor execution when it comes to the actual product itself. Now, I don't know if they test these in-house, I assume they do, but anybody testing this and listening to that fan noise must know that people are not going to be happy about that. So I just don't understand how they can put this out in the market and expect people to not complain. It's just something that's going to happen, I think. And if you are interested in looking for external storage solutions for the M4 Mac Mini and the M4 Pro Mac Mini, and this has been a bit of a disappointment for you as well, I am going to link a bunch of different external storage solutions down below. I have made a bunch of videos, like I mentioned, on different types of storage solutions, whether it be Thunderbolt 4, Thunderbolt 5, etc. like that. So if you want to go check them out on the channel, feel free. I'll include links to the Orico and a bunch of different alternative external storage solutions that you can couple up with your M4 Mac Mini. But for now, this is not the one, I think. And if you have got any other questions, like I did mention before, if you've got any questions I haven't answered in this video, let me know in the comments box below, and I'll be sure to make a part 2 just answering your questions that you have. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you for watching, thank you for supporting the channel, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. If I've earned your subscription, leave a like down below if you did end up liking it. Share with your friends and family if you think they'll be interested in the channel and the type of content I make. And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.